Hey everybody, today we're taking a look at this new toy I got right here. This is the PowerSmart 2500 watt portable gas generator, the HB5020C. Lightweight, coming in right around 40 pounds and supposed to have pretty low noise here while in eco mode. I'm getting ready to go to an off-grid festival here towards the end of summer, and I just want to make sure I have some additional power that's easy to take with just in case. Let's open it up and check it out. Yahtzee! So 1 and 2. Right on the top here, we've got our instruction manual, and we've also got a little funnel here on the top, which has a nice little attachment, so you get the gas into the tank without spilling it all over. That's a nice little touch, and that the neck goes to the inside, which is great. And then we got a little pouch over here. Looks like we got some tools here just in case, and we'll see if we need them just in case. All right, so let's get some of this foam off, packed well, foam around the sides. It's always nice. Looks like so it won't have any damage during shipping here. We're gonna be able to lift this right up on out of here. It's got a nice handle on top. Oh yeah, that's nice, man. Nice and light, easy, no problemo. So first impressions, this thing's got a nice little build quality. It's really nice and sleek. The housing is done well. This does not look or feel like a cheap piece of plastic, but it is lightweight. 40 pounds, really easy to pick up and carry around. Nobody wants to be lugging anything around that's too heavy. You got your gas tank up top right here. A little rubber around the sides for protection, which is great. You know, the on and off and your choke right here. And we're actually gonna be testing this out tomorrow, see how it does. And we got our starter cord right here to give it a good old yank. But up here in the front, I mean, it's really well done. It's very easy to see, take care of. You get your reset button over here. If you want to connect this in parallel with another generator for more output, totally doable. You got a nice little rubber cover. It's weatherproof here for the power outlets for 120 volt. Yes, you got this open up. You got a 12 volt DC option right here. 2 USB ports built in, which is great. They're 5 volt, 1 to 1 amp, and a 2 amp, which is great for most items right here. And then the Eco has a nice switch if you want to turn it on and off, and then that is covered and weatherproof as well. Really nice all the way around. And then last but not least, up top, if you need to change out the spark plug, or you need access to the actual motor, and they've got the cover here on a little tether. You're going to be able to see on the inside, looks like we got some exhaust insulation there around that part too. And then to get you started quickly here, they got a quick start guide that's just right on top, tells you exactly what to do. And if we pull off the gas cap here, it's nice. We got some filters on the inside just to make sure it catches any, you know, sediment, debris, etc. Nothing that should be going into the tank here, which is great. So like I said, we're going to fill this up here tomorrow. I'm going to test it out. I'm going to put it in eco mode because I want to see how quiet it actually is. We're going to an off-grid festival, if I didn't mention that already. So I just want to have this, you know, just in case I need to recharge some stuff and bring in my e-bike. We're going to be off-grid for a week. So I don't know if all of my solar stuff is going to suffice or be enough. So I just want to make sure I'm totally secure. So we're going to get this thing filled up with gas, and then we'll get it started and see what it sounds like and how well it works. I don't know if you can see right here, but we're a little over halfway full, and this should be perfect for our testing. Now, before we get started, we need to add some oil here. So all you have to do is remove this panel, which is just these 2 screws here on the right side, as you can see, and then there's the engine oil emblem right there, okay? So at the very bottom is gonna be where the little dipstick is. You can use 1030, which is probably the most common engine oil used for cars, trucks, etc. So you got that little funnel. We're gonna be able to fill that in right here. So we got that all filled up. We're gonna put the cover back on, 2 screws, and the recommended amount is right around 12 ounces. So let's give this a try and see if we can get it started here. On the gas cap, you can actually rotate this little piece at the top here, which says from off to on, which is recommended. We're going to crank the handle down here to choke, and let's see what we get. Look at that. First try, good to go. It's actually not that loud. It's quite quiet. So now we got this thing going, you can hear it, you're really close to it. I'm gonna drop this into eco mode. You're gonna hear the generator drops down into that eco mode, low running, especially if there's low draw. So let's back up and see what it sounds like in eco mode from a distance. So I'm probably about, I don't know, 20-ish feet back right now. If we keep going backwards. I mean, it's quite quiet. Like, I don't think anybody would think twice about this or hear it. And then I'm gonna put it back into regular. And we'll go back to the same position. Okay. So I'm right back here at position number 1. Still fairly quiet. I mean, noticeable, of course, it is a generator. If I move back just a little bit further, like I did, a few more steps, still fairly quiet. And then if I move all the way back over here, we're probably about, I don't know, 45, 50 feet. Fairly quiet in full mode here. So now we're going to test it out. I'm going to put it in eco mode and charge my e-bike. We'll see what that sounds like, all of that great stuff. So we're going to test out charging the e-bike for right now, and we're going to do that in eco mode. I'm actually getting ready to go to Burning Man at the end of summer, and I'm bringing the e-bike, so this will be the thing that consumes the most electricity or watt hours that a normal battery bank isn't going to be able to provide me for. So we'll get this thing started, we'll plug it in, we'll see if the sound stays low, and then obviously when I'm out there, I'm going to probably have some additional things I need to recharge quickly besides the e-bike, maybe a mini refrigerator, things of that nature, but we just want to see how this performs and what the noise level sounds like for just a basic application. Will I get lucky with a 1-pull start again? Let's find out. Look at that. Yeah, we're in good shape. Regular mode. Eco mode. Nice and quiet. Really nice and quiet. Plug this in. Charger's going. This thing pulls 120 watts at 2.5 amps, so that would probably only be about 250-ish watts, well under what this thing's doing, but it's showing it's charging. We'll be back in a little bit and we'll see if the noise goes up or down. But as I said before, from right here it's pretty quiet. If I continue to walk back in the backyard, by the time I get to right around here, it's really not that noticeable. Alright, so it's time to cut this thing off. It's been running for about 2 hours now, and I'm going to show you what the fill level looks like. Turn that off right there, okay? So the bike is now full. This has just been running in eco mode for over 2 hours. And if we look at this, it is now just a little bit below the halfway mark, okay? So not a whole lot of gas consumption, but it's just been running on its own in eco mode. So we used maybe like, I don't know, 1/8 of a tank or something in a couple of hours. And this has a really long run time if you're gonna run it in eco. Obviously, if you're running it at full power, it's gonna, last a little bit less as long. But overall, very happy with this. Very nice and compact. I'm going to show you what this looks like in the car, because remember, this thing overall is very light and easy to pick up for the most part. So last but not least, portability and ease of use. Yeah, we've established that this thing is pretty lightweight, easy to pick up. Goes in the back of my car here. I've got an older Subaru Forester, so I don't have a ton of space with me, but this thing just fits in the back perfectly, yes? And if you're like me and you don't need a huge generator for whatever your particular needs are, this is a great option. 2,500 watts max here. Yes, it takes a gallon of gas. All you have to do is put in a little bit of oil, but otherwise everything else comes ready to go out of the box, cranked and fired up real quick and easy. Put it on the eco mode, keep the noise down, but if you really need to run a lot of different things, flip that switch or it'll turn back on to its full potential and keep everything charged. So if you're like me, you're going camping, beach, picnics, you might need a little power for an extended stay or something, or for me, I'm going to Burning Man for 5 days. This is going to have me covered. Fill this up with a gallon, bring a couple gallons of gas just in case. I think this is going to be perfect for me, going on a 5-day trip and recharging e-bikes, all my different peripherals and extras, and maybe a few extra things, and we're gonna be good to go. So if you have any questions or comments on this, you can drop those down below, but I think this is a great value for the money here. Compact, lightweight, and easy to use.